how we booked 100 plus meetings for Wahoo in 12 months. This is the exact same process and system that we used. So you can use it too to book in meetings, not just for Wahoo, but the same for 360 Learning, for Rise Up, for eGain, and tons of other edtech brands. So if you're currently relying on referrals or you've got an inconsistent pipeline, maybe you've been the founder who's driven the sales, but it's a case of feast and famine because when you're delivering on product, you can't drive business. So this whole system is what we implement into organizations to help them consistently drive lead flow, consistently book meetings, and consistently close business. So step one to this process is understanding your customer avatar and their journey to purchase. A lot of the time, companies, what they do is they go too broad with their marketing message, so it doesn't resonate. So what this exercise does is it not only helps you identify the ideal buy-in persona, the person who's going to buy from you, but also the challenges, the pains, and the outcomes that they want so that you can speak directly to them and what they hope to achieve. On top of this is understanding the buyer journey. So what we've put together is an epiphany matrix. And this is unique because it not only talks about the ideal persona, but the emotional drivers, the logical drivers, the your company storyline as to how you got to a place where you can help them with their problems. So for them, they can understand and they have the insights and background knowledge on why you are best positioned to solve their problems and be a value add to their business as a partnership, as a solution, as a service. This creates the backbone to all marketing and is very important and lays the foundation for any successful campaign. So if you haven't got this outlined in a document, then I would recommend you do that because it will create alignment across the whole team. It helps you to think through these processes because sometimes you have it up here, but when you write it down, it becomes a lot more crystal clear. Step two is creating client facing assets. Now you understand your ideal customer persona, it's far easier to create what your profile should look like on LinkedIn, speak into the big problem you solve, how you solve it, and the benefits of it being solved, as well as taking into consideration key pieces of visual real estate like your banner, like the featured section that will help anyone that lands on your LinkedIn profile to immediately understand the benefit you can have for their business. Next is assets that are going to educate your client or customer. So this is what we call a lead magnet. It's basically an easy yes. It doesn't actually have to promote your solution. Actually, in a lot of cases, it's about solving a problem for your client for free because that is going to create a very easy yes, especially if it's low risk, low effort to them. So it's not about jumping on a meeting. It's not about a free consultation call. It's about solving a problem for them in a very easy and manageable way for you, both them and for you, right? In this case, what we did was we built a how to build an effective channel partner program landing page. And what this talked about was the benefits of building a channel partner program and what are the steps that you need to take to put that in place. Considering what Wahoo were going after, this was an easy way for the channel directors we were going out to actually say yes to because they were looking to improve their channel partner. So after we've done that, we then go to step three, which is grow your audience. So with LinkedIn, you can imagine it like an event or an exhibition. If you go to an exhibition, your LinkedIn profile is your stand space. But if there's no one at the event, then it's not going to be a great event because no one's going to look at your stand. But now you've got a great stand, you need to get it buzzing and you need to invite as many people to your stand as possible. So this is where you grow your audience. So you go out and you connect consistently with the decision makers that you need to go out to. You can do this not just by LinkedIn, but also by email, and you can point them to this educational asset that you've delivered or you've built. But they'll also look at your landing page or your LinkedIn profile page and understand exactly how you can benefit them. And this creates not only an increase in your network, so you can see here, we added in one campaign 400 new connections. These are decision makers to their campaign with a 33% connection rate and 10% response rate, which are great metrics. But you can see at the start of this campaign, they had 0 to 7 profile views, and within 3 months, they saw 10x to the amount of views they were seeing to their profile on a day-to-day basis. This led to an increase in the amount of opt-ins to that learning guide that we put together. And you can see here, out of 487 unique views that went onto the landing page, 172 went and actually opted in and shared their contact information. This was a great example of when you're doing highly targeted campaigns to the types of people that are going to see value, and you solve a problem for them, that you're going to get a lot of response from that. Next, you've built your audience. You now need to generate demand. So what we need to understand here is just your total addressable market, because out of your total addressable market, there's only going to be 1 to 5 people, or 1 to 5% of people who are going to buy now, and 33% of people who are actually problem aware. They're having problems, but they're not looking for a solution right now. The reason why this is important to understand is because you don't want to be just launching direct campaigns, which is trying to drive meetings. You actually want to just drive attention. And to do that, you can take an indirect approach, which I'll get to in a minute. But for those direct campaigns, what you want to be aware of is triggers. You want to be aware of what are the instances where people are most likely to be in a buying phase. And you can use metrics or triggers like they're following your competition. They look exactly like clients you already service to success. They've gone through a merger or acquisition, they've gone through funding, they've gone through new job joins. Maybe they've visited your website. Yes, you can discover people who have visited your website. All these people, you can go out directly, you can share case studies, you can share that educational asset, and you can also incentivize a call. So what is the reason they're going to jump on a call, irrelevant of it if they make a purchase or not? And this is going to increase the amount of people that respond to your campaigns and the amount of meetings you book in. But what you need to be aware of, and even more importantly, is the indirect campaigns that you want to launch. So these are, again, ways to get the attention of the people that are not in the buy now phase, so that you start building a pipeline and grabbing the attention of decision makers that you need to be in front of, and slowly start nurturing them and be in front of them when the need for them to make a purchase arises. And the 3 best ways we found is 1, closed groups on LinkedIn, or in-person workshops. So depending on your capacity and the location of your target audience, these 2 methods work really well. It's it's an opportunity to connect like-minded individuals into one space, and it's a space you control. So you can present all of the valuable case studies, assets, information, content that you already have consolidated into one location. So it's easy for people to skim through, and also create events and opportunities for people to network with each other, again, providing value up front. Next is LinkedIn Lives. LinkedIn Lives, again, are great because when you do one, it can be a reoccurring thing. You only have to record it once, and then you can, even though it's called LinkedIn Live, you can actually just replay the recording the month after, the month after, the month after. And it's an easy opt-in on LinkedIn. People get a notification, they click one button, and they're opted in. You can see here, we've been able to drive 336 attendees to the event. That's lots of leads that are now aware of your product, and they're also able to understand the solution or problem that you're able to solve. And these replays stay on the LinkedIn platform to garner more views as time goes on. And there's also an important part to this moving on, but I will get into that in a minute. Interview with thought leaders. So you can also actually just get in front of people that you want to be in front of and make them the center of attention. This exposes your brand. It, again, provides them with a brand boost, especially if you're sharing it with your network, and they're more likely to share it with their network. So you get exposure to their network. It creates unique content that they can't find anywhere else, or none of your decision makers can find anywhere else. And it's talking about topics that are going to be of interest and listening to other thought leaders in the space. So it's a great strategy to not only get in front of your buyer, but also make every conversation you have profitable. So as you can see here with Adam Robinson, he's got 100,000 followers. We were able to get him on a podcast, and that one allows me to be in front of his brand and his followers, but also it helps me to demonstrate my brand and my thought leadership on my side. And it was a great conversation. Once you've got this unique content, what you want to do is understand where your audience are going to be paying attention. So now you've grown your audience on LinkedIn. and you've started to have conversations, this is mainly through direct messaging, the next step is to be in front of them in their feed. If you're doing these steps correctly, you then can start posting content that is going to resonate. You can share stories, you can share how-tos, and you can share demos of the problems you solve, the solutions you're able um, to produce for your customer base. And this is going to elevate your brand and build trust with the people you've connected to. Next is the middle funnel. So the people who have started to see some of your content might want more of an in-depth insight. Now, most of your audience are going to be either on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Spotify. They're watching or listening to podcasts on YouTube or Spotify, and they're also watching content or searching for solutions on YouTube. It is like the Google where you go to when you want to find out more information about something. So the interviews you've given, um, the the webinars that you presented can all be hosted on YouTube, and it creates more eyeballs and makes your business more searchable. The newsletter can be a consolidation of all of this, and it keeps you top of mind for all of those leads that do come through and nurtures them and makes sure that they are aware of all the benefits and all of the things you're doing in the space. And this can all be linked to that educational asset to drive more lead flow. Last is bottom of the funnel. So with another client of ours, we put together case studies, and these case studies help to drive the awareness at the stage of buy-in, so that people could read through examples of them solving problems for companies that were very similar to the target audience we were going out to. And what that led was to warm leads coming in, us using our nurturing framework to convert those meetings in a multi-channel sequence. So using LinkedIn, email, and calling to book in meetings, as you can see here. And we reached out to, we said we would share a case study based on a client we was working with that looked exactly like them. They just jumped straight into wanting the call, and that turned into a deal closed. And this is meetings that we book in consistently. This was just a month of July. So you can see that this system works. And if you're doing this consistently, it's not only improving the amount of meetings you're booking, but it improves the closing rate, because you've built the trust, you've built the authority, you've become a trusted advisor on their feed, on their YouTube, and they've got loads of information to then take with them, and it helps across the buying committee. So if you're going and your decision maker needs other people's buy-in, they've got loads of content and assets to share for that to be done. So this is an insight into the whole structure of the system that we deploy for our clients, and this is how we get the results and how we book a ton of meetings, and also off the back of that help clients close revenue. So if you're interested in learning more, then just feel free to reach out to us on inonda.co.uk. Bye for now.